I don't get it. It doesn't seem to be that useful, but then what is useful really in life? Have a cute butt? Right, I'll take that. I mean, listen, it's not a bad thing to hear compliments all weekend. It's not a bad thing. You guys have been amazing to all the people I've met already, the people I will meet. Thank you so much for having such a warm welcome. Honestly, I almost started crying backstage. So thank you. I'll try to figure out how to Snapchat that picture I took. I don't know. It's so weird. It seems to be only for naughty pictures. Like, what else is the point of putting something that'll self-destruct? I mean, it's either I'm a spy and I'm sending coded messages and I'm like, this will self-destruct in 30 seconds, or here are my boobs. I don't know. I just need to educate myself, okay? So, I don't have a moderator, so I'll probably babble a lot, which is one of my more charming qualities. And I'll be taking questions most of the time. Over here? The good thing is I don't have glasses on, so everyone is very attractively blurry. Like, did anyone ever see Moonlighting or one of those shows where you're like, where is she? She's so blurry, you know, that kind of thing? Sometimes you see like shows where one woman has the special filter where she's all gauzy, right? And I'm always like, at what point do I demand that? What can I say? I really want that. Never? I really like you. So we're going to be taking questions the whole time. I want to give a shout out to Supernatural fans. It's a pretty cool coincidence that I just had an episode on. So that's kind of a fun coincidence. I'm sure I'll be getting a lot of questions about leg locks. And to everybody who's a part of my Geek and Sundry community, thank you very much. Lots of cool things happening, hopefully in the future about that. And just, I mean, it's so nice to be in touch with you guys every day. And I've already met like several people who I know from my Twitch stream, and I'm like, oh, that's your handle. And that's what I love. You know, no matter how big you grow, it's so cool to be like, I know you from the internet, and there's your face. You're a human. And that's what I think conventions, that's why I think they're so much more popular now, because we can be who we want to be and congregate with people who love what we love, and then we take it in the real world right here and are just proud of who we are. So thank you, FanX. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, no, it's so awkward. You're lovely.
This isn't my strong suit. My name's Andy, and I'm a huge fan, obviously, but what I wanted to ask you about is, I recently just found out that my favorite comic series, and you will be colliding with Chew in an animated series, and I'm super stoked about it. You guys should be way more excited for this.
Chew, yes, Chew is a really awesome comic.
So yeah, I just wanted to know how you wound up getting involved with that, and if you're excited for it, and who will be with you.
Great, yeah, absolutely. So Chew, like I said, is one of my favorite comics as well. And the cool thing is that John Layman, the writer of Chew, is actually a huge World of Warcraft fan. Who's playing the new expansion? A lot of people. I installed it. I have not gotten there. I was traumatized by pandas. I will not apologize. I'm sorry. I just don't like Jack Black, and then he was a panda, and then it just translated to pandas. I'm sure he's a fine person. I don't mean to. It's okay. Yes. Everyone's saying the new expansion is like everything about WoW that is awesome, and I'm excited to get back into it. So. What was your question? Oh, Chew. This is going to happen the whole time, guys. This is why I try to do crossword puzzles, because I feel like I have short-term memory loss. And then I'm like, well, you better do those crosswords. And I was like, you should learn Snapchat instead, because that's an old person thing to do, Felicia. At 9:30 p.m. Anyway, Chew. So I've known John Layman for Hobbies of Chew, and it's a comic book series about a guy who is able to eat things, and he's able to find out clues from, he's a detective, and he finds out clues from what he eats and sees things. And it's very weird and surreal, but very funny and quirky. And I was approached by the people who optioned the rights for an animated feature to play the girlfriend part. So, of course, I was like, I'm in, because I'm a huge fan. And she's blonde, and I've never played blonde. So I really wanted to expand my wheelhouse as an actress, and stretch my wings into new roles, and get known for other things. So anyway, I don't know when that's going to be out. I do not have that information, but follow my Twitter, and I will be sure to blast it out to everybody. So thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's some great comics out there, like Rat Queens. Has anybody read Rat Queens? It's about a girl D&D group, and it's very salty. So, and yeah, I've really been into sort of indie comics, Saga, of course, and yeah, there's some great ones out there right now. So if you're not even into comics, there's some great entry comics that don't have to be superhero comics that it would be easy to get into. Hi, next.
Hi, Felicia. I'm Vanessa.
Was that a cat? Anyway, hi, Vanessa.
I just wonder if, when Josh Whedon brings you a project, is it an automatic yes? I mean, do you trust him implicitly?
Yes.
Tell us something about your relationship, personal or professional.
Tell us about something about our relationship. He really gets uncomfortable when I talk about poop. He's a classy guy, and he has issues with dirty language like that. Not dirty as in swearing, but like poop language. And so I go out of my way to mention things about poop around him to make him uncomfortable. And that's really where we really unite with each other. I've known Joss for actually over 10 years now, which is crazy because Buffy is over 10 years. And the funny part is my hair is now the length that it was when I played Vi on Buffy. So more people recognize me now than they did from Buffy because my head is similar to the way it was. So it's pretty funny. He's one of the most inspiring people I know. I actually have a whole chapter about Dr. Horrible in my book that's going to come out in August. If you guys didn't know it, I wrote a memoir book that's coming out in August with Simon & Schuster, and you can check it out at FeliciaDayBook.com. If you pre-order it, that's great because that determines where I'm going to go on my book tour. So they're going to look at all that stuff. So gentle plug for myself. But anyway, just diving into that whole, retrospectively of the whole Dr. Horrible experience. I didn't really realize until I started digging in how formative it was for me as an artist and transitioning from a young actor to somebody working with so many experienced people, but at the same time they were all together for the joy of creation. And really that was the heart of Dr. Horrible and why it was so successful and such an inspiration is that these were really fancy people who don't need to shoot in their houses and stuff or cut corners, and they wanted to do it because there was no other way to tell their story and be creative. And whenever I do anything with Geek and Sundry or on the web or anything at all, I always go back to that sort of Joss Whedon world of let's just make this thing and love every second of it. So don't tell him it'll be awkward, but he's very inspiring to me.
Huge Guild and Supernatural fan.
Thank you. Those are two good things.
Right, so about the Guild, what made you want to create and publish the Guild? What inspired you to think, oh, I'll make this and put it out there in the world?
Yeah, I mean, half my book is about that, but, okay, I'm gonna stop. Listen, I actually thought about all the things that I've done in conventions that people responded to, and I put them in the book, so, okay, I'm gonna stop about it. I'm very proud of it, a year. Okay. A year of anybody. You talk about yourself for a year, it's like, oh, it's enough of you. Talking about yourself like that is interesting. The Guild was inspired by a combination of my bad addiction to World of Warcraft, and, I mean, yeah, addictions. Not so much with that, but it was in response to me being creatively frustrated with acting as a profession. I was doing really good, but I wasn't happy every day because I was sort of always pushed into this role that I didn't really feel like was everything I wanted to be. And I was doing lots of commercials all the time, and it wasn't fulfilling as an artist. And then somebody said, write something. So I wrote about the thing that I do the best, which is meeting people online and gaming, and because those were the things that I felt were the most organic to who I am as a person. And I wrote it as a TV show, and nobody wanted to do it. And then my friend came to me and was like, let's make a web series. And this was before Twitter, guys. This is like in the olden days. People didn't know what a web series was. All of that. And it's so funny how far we've come in just like 7 years. I mean, it's phenomenal that our whole lives are transformed in the way we connect with each other and the way we are able to express ourselves. It's a real revolution. I wouldn't want to be born at any other time. I mean, it would be cool to be a Roman empress, but I feel like they had maybe some health issues back then. And in the Middle Ages, they had hygiene issues. I was like, no. The 1920s would have been cool because I like the outfits. Anyway, your question was about the guild. And we just started making it in our bedroom for like no money, in our garages and stuff. And really, that's what I want to. That's what the most proud thing. Like, I met a couple of people online today who said, I wrote a book because of you, or I'm starting a web series. And I think it's always good to go back to. Sometimes we're inhibited about creating because we're embarrassed for ourselves to show people our creativity or be criticized or not be good enough. And believe me, I struggled with all that over the years. And in order to get out of your own head and really get out of your own way, it's good to concentrate on how your creativity affects other people. So if it opens the door to one other person telling a story, or puts it out there that, hey, it might be cool to be a gamer for fun, you know, because I saw this on TV, that's really all you need to do. And it's not about shaming yourself, it's really about inspiring others' creativity. So. I did a dumb face because I got awkward. Hi!
Hi, my name is Megan, and my question is, how is it portraying a lesbian on a show dominated by guys?
Well, I don't think it's any different portraying a lesbian than it would be a non-lesbian, although I don't have to make out with guys. I guess that would be the difference. I mean, I made out with a girl a little bit, which was fine. It was the first time I ever kissed a girl. I think there's a song titled that. It was no different than girls. It was a little soft. Guys, it was a little softer and no stubble. Thank goodness. She was not a stubbly lady. And I was like, you should have done this in college when you were crazy. But to me, there's no difference. It's just, you know, if you're attracted to somebody, you're attracted to them. And I love the fact that Charlie isn't a character that's sort of forced to represent, you know, a gay girl. And that's not her role. She is a human being. She has fears, she has hopes, she has passions. And it just happens to be that she is attracted to somebody other than what is normal, quote unquote, mainstream, you know? So I think, you know, the fact that we have characters like that, making it just seem, this is just a person, and this is how they are. I think that that's, again, why we have art. Because the more that you just represent something as natural and you know, nothing to be pointed out in a way, that's how we change our minds about things. And I think it really is a testament to the writing of Robbie Thompson, because he's an amazing writer, guys, and he writes all the Charlie episodes randomly. And the cool thing about it is that he really represents Charlie as a geek and a lesbian and a girl who hacks and everything, but that's not all she is. She's just a human being that you can feel sorry for, or love, or hate, or want to kick in the face, like Dark Charlie this week. So I think it's cool. It's cool, and the guys are really fun to work with. Like, they're really funny. There's a lot of fart jokes on set compared to like on Buffy, because Joss would be like, "Oh, fart." I always talk about it anyway. All right, next question.
Hi, Felicia. I'm Amanda.
Hi.
I was just curious, since you're such a geek icon, when you get calls to work on shows like Supernatural, when you get calls from Joss Whedon, do you geek out just like we do when we see you, or is it just kind of, oh, another project, you move on?
I would never assume anybody gets excited about me. I'm always like, what? I met Jean-Luc Picard. Of course, he has a real name, but he was nobody but Jean-Luc Picard to me. I'm sorry. to do that, but I was in love with him in Star Trek: Next Generation. I was in love with Riker too occasionally. I met him in person. I don't really fan out about a lot of people, but I was an idiot. I think my brain shut off. Like, I could feel the blood draining from my cranium into somewhere, I don't know, lower back area, I don't know. It was incomprehensible, guys. I had no understanding of what happened, what I said to him. I had nightmares that night that I was an idiot. Assuming he would have remembered me. I mean, yeah, I think the people who I've really found out about have been authors. I've found out a lot about Jacqueline Carey, who's like a romance author. Yeah, there's some great authors, like fantasy authors I've really geeked out over, and that's who I get really like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I met Edgar Wright once and Simon Pegg, and that was, again, idiot. I was an idiot. So yeah, when I meet people who I really, really admire, I definitely get very excited. The most embarrassing thing besides Jean-Luc was I met James Cromwell. And you would think James Cromwell would be like the #1 person, you know, that people would freak out over, but Babe is my favorite movie. If you haven't seen Babe, buy it now. There's no reason for me to plug it other than it's the best thing ever put on film. And when he sings to his pig, I kind of cry every time. So randomly on a set, James Cromwell visited because he was scouting for his own shoot or something. And I touched his hand. It was so large and warm. I'm gonna cry. And I started weeping. I'm crying. Don't be an idiot, Felicia. And he looked at me like, it was not something that James Cromwell normally got. Let me just tell you, he doesn't do conventions. It's not his normal thing. I think it was embarrassing. But, so there you go. And I think it's so flattering to meet somebody who likes what you do and it has an impact on you, and hopefully he doesn't remember me in an unfun way. Or doesn't remember me at all.
Hi, Casey Williams, recovering World of Warcraft addict, longtime fan, but I just wondered, when you were filming Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog, if you ever had an inkling of what a cult following it would gain, what a big hit, runaway hit it would be.
Well, obviously you're a fan, so thank you for that. Yeah, I had no idea. No, we had no idea. Like, listen, can anybody name a web series right now, this year, or last year, that's as big a phenomenon as Dr. Horrible was 5 years ago? Red vs. Blue is awesome, but it isn't new. Like, Red vs. Blue is when I started the Guild, even before, like I think 2006. Those guys are amazing, but like there hasn't been a phenomenon on the web like Dr. Horrible. Star Wars continues? Okay, so there's some, but there's not like... Guys. Okay, there are some coming, but like, think about it, 5 years in the making, there haven't been any that is such a big phenomenon. And like, you could just, it's so before its time. Like really, it's House of Cards revolutionized the web. Like, Dr. Horrible revolutionized the web in a way that made it seem like legitimate people are going to make, air quotes, because I was on there before, but, I mean, I don't call myself legitimate, who are we kidding? But Dr. Horrible really made an impact in a way that people in the entertainment business noticed, and it was completely fan-driven. There was $0 for budget. Like, Jed Whedon, one of the writers, music producers, composers, co-writers, he did the website, because they couldn't afford a website. And that's why it crashed immediately, you know. I mean, it was a beautiful website. It wasn't his fault, it was the server, but like, that was how bare bones it was. And that's kind of amazing that, you know, yeah, there were some elements there that were really high and fancy, but really it was done in a way that was very bare bones, and I think the fact that it succeeded should, you know, it's very inspiring, and I think it changed the web for good. And that's why we're here now, with more web series and all that stuff that you guys so nicely mentioned. Fine.
the DLC
Oh, yeah.
and reprising Talus.
So the fun thing about that project was that it was created in tandem, and nobody's actually ever done that before. That's why I wanted to do it, because I like being first. Yes, I do that on web. I do it on web YouTube videos. I'm first. I'm that guy, girl, whatever. So it was cool because EA approached me and they were like, Dragon Age 2 is coming out in 6 months. We'd like you to do a video, and I was like, I'll write a whole hour of content. And we'll do it for nothing. That was not a smart move, but the cool thing was that I kind of developed Talus, and then I wanted to be a rogue elf, you know, and I thought the Canary was an interesting area to work in, and they kind of helped develop it, and then they went and wrote the DLC at the same time I was shooting the web series. So because of production delays, we didn't release it right at the same time. It was just too hard. It was too short a span. You know, TV takes years to make, guys. To be able to coordinate a DLC and a web series proved to be more challenging than we thought. But the fact that it was live action and a DLC, like I haven't seen anybody do that since, and I think it's really cool because as a gamer myself, I would love to have another like series with Dorian from Inquisition. Anybody playing Inquisition? I love that character so much, and Cassandra, like. All those characters, of course, I spent 180 hours in that game, and I'm like, I'm in love with everybody. I've been trying to love everybody, and some of them will not have me. Which is really weird. I couldn't get Iron Bull. I didn't know what the deal was. He's supposed to be the easiest. Whatever, I could talk about this to 4 people who care, but anyway, so I think it's a cool template for something to be done in the future, and I would be like lining up to do something else with a video game like that. Hi.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I would like to know how you get back a wing when he parks in your parking space.
The thing is, there are plenty of parking spaces there. And for the first time in my life, I had like a place. You know, I was so excited about having a place. And that jerk, he parks in my parking spot every time there's an editing session. I think he's mad because like I don't come into editing sessions. I don't think so. He's just being a big brother jerk. I mean, that's really where it comes down to. I don't get back at him, but sometimes when I'm giving edit notes, I'm like, Will looks really smug here. Like sometimes, but it's like he doesn't really look smug. It's just like I'm ribbing him. I don't think he's actually noticed. So I'm like begging for attention and notes that he probably doesn't read, and I don't know how to get back. Do you have any suggestions?
I heard recently there's a company that will send him an envelope of glitter.
You gotta hook me up. Hook me up.
I'll bring you change tomorrow.
Okay, bye. What? RuinSomebody'sDay.com. Should I have just said that into the microphone? I'm gonna get some calls. Hi.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Hi, Liz.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done as an inspiration and role model for female gamers.
Oh, thank you.
My next question is, when you did come out and talk about Gamergate, were you scared of the backlash?
Yeah, I think that this is not something I want to talk a lot about because somebody on the internet will clip it and then it's bad. It's bad. It's kind of a sad thing all around for gaming, and that's why I wrote the Tumblr, because I wanted to bridge the gap between there's just bad emotion, and I'm like a very sensitive, emotional person, and I was like, can we, on every level, can we just get rid of this kind of hatred, because we're never going to agree with anybody or find a middle ground or anything if we have this emotion around gaming. And I was most upset that I thought that all the things that were happening were going to drive people away from gaming, like casual people, or people who were thinking about getting into gaming, because I know that gaming is much more than that. Yeah, I was, I've had incidents where people were over the line in my life, and, I think that inevitably comes with being well-known in a sense, or known in certain areas. So it was certainly something that I thought many, times over before I posted something. And at a certain point, I mean, you just read my Tumblr, it kind of tells the story of why I decided to say something. And of course, the backlash was not particularly enjoyable. But you know, the outpouring of support with you guys and online and a lot of game developers and things like that, like, I think, you know, it was sort of a wake-up call that to remain silent about something is almost complicit in allowing the narrative to be controlled by the people who are loudest, who are not people that most people agree with. So, you know, it's just something that is very sensitive. Even now, it's like you don't want to mention it on Twitter or something. I mentioned it the other day, and I got so much like hate, and then you know, it's uncomfortable and it's not great to live with. But unless you speak up, then you let the narrative be controlled, and I think that is not good for gaming as a world. Like, I'm all for differing opinions, and I respect a lot of people who don't agree with me on certain things, but that's how we get ahead in life, not like stabbing our finger in people's faces. I don't know, that's just the way I like to operate. Tiptoeing around that. But yeah, but thank you guys. Hi.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'd like to thank you for coming out to Salt Lake. We really appreciate you here.
Thank you. You guys have really big streets. Do you notice that? Do you notice you have like big streets?
You have to be able to turn a wagon around in this.
Is it really true? Because I was like, I was looking on my little Yelp thing and I was like, oh, this place looks like a cute bakery. And I was like, what? It was 5 blocks. It's 8 miles. And it's cold. Oh, I don't. It's impressive. It's kind of like Paris without Parisians.
So I understand you were homeschooled as a child.
I am. I've met a lot of homeschool people here.
Yes. Utah is full of homeschool communities, and I would just like to ask what your experience was as a homeschool child, and would you recommend it to others?
I hate to say this, but I talk about it in my book. But I was actually talking to a girl at my table now, and we were actually talking about the advantages and disadvantages of being homeschooled. You know, there are certain experiences that we don't have in common with other people, like prom or, you know, do tests. I mean, I really never took tests, and then I'm like, in college, I'm like, oh, good, I'm being graded. That was startling. And so there are certain things that you don't relate with other people on a certain level. Like I could never write a high school story, to be honest with you, because I don't have that experience that everybody knows. And like, I write the Guild because I know gamers so well. We know each other, hopefully, in a lot of ways. Like, and I could write about that all day. But high school, I don't know how other people were in high school. I have no idea. I just watched. It would be 90210. That's the only experience. But we were also talking about how, because of homeschooling, we didn't know those norms or those rigid truths. And because of those, we maybe were gravitated toward gaming or other things that weren't considered, you know, girly, right? I never thought there was anything weird about liking dragons or playing video games with my brother all day. Like, it literally, I was never judged for it. And I think judgment is a lot of, it's a part of our society, unfortunately, and the way we relate to each other as humans in some weird psychological level that I don't have a thesis paper to explain why. But I think judgment inhibits a lot of people from trying things. And I think because the formative years of my life were unjudged in those ways, I never was embarrassed to say that I love this, or I love this, or you know, or I want to do this activity, or I really want all the Robert Jordans in first edition signed by Robert Jordan. You know, I never thought that was uncool in a sense. So I guess for that advantage, and one thing that is, you know, in my life, I'm like, just be proud of who you are. No matter, there is no normal. Like, there is no normal. I said the word normal earlier, and I know that was not right, because like, there is no normal. It's who you are. That's really what it is. And anything. Is one thing that I think we missed out on, and the reverse of that. from homeschooling. So thanks for asking. And it's so cool to meet so many homeschool people. We should have like a club or something.
Hi, Felicia. My name is Misty. I was homeschooled too, so I'll join.
Yeah.
I think that because a lot of people recognize you as being a great hero or a great role model for young girls, and I know that a lot of people say things about what defines you. My question is, what do you think defines you? And I know your book's going to answer this. I can't wait to read it.
I wasn't going to say that. It's so much easier for me to talk about the Guild because it's like, hey, here's the Guild. You know, it's a show and it's not, it's about me. It's like, oh God, Felicia. But I guess it's hard to find, you know, I think that's basically our life struggle. And who are we? What do we love? And there's so many societal pressures that kind of push you one way or another. Or just internally you want to please other people. I think, you know, especially women, we are kind of raised to please other people a lot more than even guys do. And that can sort of round the corners of pursuing something that might be imposed on other people or be out of the norm and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of our homework for life to figure out who we are and express that in this world. And the cool thing about it is that it's never ending. So like me 10 years ago, I'm a different person now because every single interaction was people, everything I do. I mean, if I take a pottery class, I'm a different person. My neurons are different. And hopefully we are always pushing the boundary of who we are to grow, to understand more, to understand ourselves more. Because that's the way that we really reach, you know, I think that sense of meaning that I think all strive for in life. And it's kind of a nebulous thing to quantify, but whatever it is that gives you meaning in life, you should always pursue that. Whether it's something as silly as, you know, making baskets or teaching kids, or if it's a hobby like fencing. Like whenever I meet somebody who has a true passion, whether it's their profession or their hobby, there's a fulfillment there. And like whenever I meet somebody who's like, I don't know what to do, I'm like, just go try things, because you have to be able to experiment and find who you are. And I guess it's a roundabout way of like, I don't know who I am, but I know I'm someone who hopefully is always brave enough to try and see if something fits me or not. And I'm definitely weird.
My question's about Supernatural. So
yeah. The leg lock? You want to know about the leg lock?
No. So my question for you is actually, so on last week's episode, you portrayed a totally evil character and a totally good character. What was that like for you as an actor to be in both of those different roles, even though you're playing the same person?
It was nerve-wracking. When I was going to say something, but then I was like, there might be children involved here. It was puckering in my face area. When I first read the script, I was like, oh God, what? And I panicked, of course. My natural reaction to anything is panic, and that's why you don't want to ever drive with me. And then when I got that under control, I was like, oh boy, this is great. I get to be bad. I get to not care what people think of me. I get to not, you know, back down and give the limelight to somebody else. I can just be as bad as I want. And it was so empowering because I'd never done something like that before. People see me as a nice person, hopefully, and then I play a lot of nice people. But being evil was so fun, guys. I got to drive Baby, and I was like, I rented one of those Dodge Chargers last time I visited my parents in Austin, and like, I kind of wanted to buy one, and I was just like, this is a rental car, I don't care. So, it was really cool. You know, as an actor, it was a great challenge, and I wanted to make sure that good Charlie and bad Charlie and normal Charlie were all three different people. And so I approached it the way that if you were a whole and you split, like who would get who? Who would get what? You know, this person's confident, not confident, you know, empowered, not empowered, sexual, not sexual. You know, I tried to just sort of parse up who Charlie was into columns. And the great thing is that Phil, the director, was very good about helping me steer into areas that I didn't even think of with each of the characters. I think that shows on the screen. You know, Jensen was less helpful sometimes in that he would make fun of me, like, for legit. Like, I would be like, in the fight scene, I'd be like, He's like, you look like you're a 1920s boxer. I'm like, wait, what? And then I got really angry and I hit him so hard I dislocated my thumb. So he actually helped me. And then there's another scene, and I wanted to tell this story anyway. Oh my God, your codex. I can see that from here with my glasses. You're beautiful. The other scene was, there's a scene in the bar where I'm picking up the wait. I talked to him, and I'm picking up on a waitress, and I'm like really being a. This is after I'm sorry, there's gonna be some spoilers, but I'm really evil and arrogant, and I have to do a shot. I reach over and I take a shot and I throw it back. I mean, I'm not a drinker, and I've never actually done a shot. Like one time somebody gave me, and I sipped it, and they were like, "That's not how you do it." But I've never like thrown back a shot, and I was supposed to throw it back. And on his coverage, well, first of all, I like gulped it. He's like, "No, no, no, what are you doing?" Then on his coverage, I did it so violently, I splashed it all over my face. Mixture. There's like Coke like dripping down my face onto my leather, and I'm like still trying to look. And he's looking at me, and I've never seen him break. He's so professional and awesome. Like he knows that character. You can do anything because Jared is always trying to make you break up. So he can't break. He will not break. And I saw ever so slight. It was like.
Do you want to date my avatar?
I mean, I enjoy the offer. I mean, I'll take it, but you look beautiful, so I would consider it were I single. Is that okay? Did I get out of that? Okay.
So my name is Brenna, and I was wondering if Codex is going to make any appearances in music videos in the future.
Oh, good question. So the guild ended in, I think at the end of 2012 or 13. It was 2 years ago. Basically 2 years ago I ended it, and it was because I found a storyline that I felt like finished the arc. I haven't done anything with it. I was thinking about maybe doing some comics, but I kind of got really swamped. I actually had a really bad year. I got very sick, and I got very depressed, and I just had a lot of challenges. And it was very hard to work through, and I had to take all last year off to kind of recover in a lot of ways. And so that's why I didn't do anything there, but the distance that I get from the guild makes me love it more, especially writing about it and exploring my times there from a different point of view. And I still love those characters so much. And the great thing is, in all the years that we did the show, I still own the rights to the show. So I can kind of do whatever I want with the guild. And I'm working on a new project now that's unannounced, and hopefully something woody. Oh, here we go. Something happens with that this year, but you know, in the foreseeable future, I certainly would like to revisit. I just have to have a really good reason, not just a commercial reason, but stories I need to tell with the characters, worlds I want to visit. So yeah, I would love to do more, but it would be more in the long term versus the very short term. But just seeing so many people who've said the guild has affected their lives, or made them want to game, or made them create a web series, like there's no project that could outshine that for me. I wouldn't be here without you guys supporting the guild, so thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim. I'm a really big fan, especially of your vlog series.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Horrible, but...
Oh, I'm a fan of everything you've been in.
I like you.
But, so, in the vlog, I really like watching you try different things, trying doing things all the time, and then especially one where you're overcoming your fear. Fear of heights, jumping off the trapeze and doing it over and over again, and keep doing it even though you didn't want to. That being said, with your I guess background and being able to facing your fears, I'm also a fan of your Twitch stream.
Oh, thank you. Are you in it? What's your handle?
Grimlink.
Oh, okay. I'll look for you next time.
All right. Would you have you thought about restreaming or replaying Five Nights at Freddy?
Never. Five Nights at Freddy is like the worst. I screamed. I do not like being terrified by my gaming. It's not interesting to me. I also panic. Speaking about that vlog episode where I did the trapeze, we actually cut out me crying. And since that episode, and I want to tell you, it's always We have one more that we're gonna do. But because of that, I say push the limits of who you are and really explore, because if you experience something you don't like it, at least you know within reason. But maybe not with heights, because after I did that trapeze, I couldn't even drive over bridges because I would be so frightened and I would get vertigo just over bridges because I was so terrified of that experience. So maybe I should have gone to some therapy or something before I tried trapeze. I can imagine other people might enjoy it, but circus people, hats off, man. That was terrifying. So no more Five Nights at Freddy's, no Silent Hill, none of it. Last question, or maybe next to last question here.
Hi, I'm Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
I was just wondering how it feels to be an honorary Winchester.
How does it feel? Oh, it feels good. I don't know what else to say there. I mean, it's an amazing family to be a part of, and I have to say it's touched like 4 seasons. I feel like as a girl, I'm like, you dodged a bullet every episode. There's a lot of girl casualty rate on that show, and every single new episode I get, I'm like, woof, I'm not dead yet. I'm sure my time will come, and I'm sure we'll do it in an amazing way, but right now, you know, I'm a whole person in the world, and being a part of the family is really cool. I get to meet new people who are interested in my work. I get to work with some of the most gentlemanly, awesome guys I know, and it's just fantastic. I would never want to be on just a random sitcom that nobody really felt passionate about. Oh yeah, you're on NCIS, or, you know, like, the middle. No, I'm saying, it's a good show, but it's not like people are rabid. Like, are you rabid for NCIS? Alright, well, insert other show that people are passionate about. Like, to me, it's all about the family of the fandom that really makes me want to take a job. That's all I was saying. I wasn't insulting Mark Harmon or whoever's in that. Oh, hi. Last question. It's Mark Harmon, right? Yes.
My name is Michelle, and I saw you on House, so I want to know what it was like to act with Hugh Laurie.
Oh, guys. Alright, this is a good last question because I don't normally get asked about House. If I get asked about Bring It On again, I look ashamed. Which I get more than once because they rerun it a lot now. I don't know why. And I have the same hair, so people are like, and I'm like, ugh. But House was fun. Hugh Laurie is one of the sexiest men I've ever met. And I don't say that lightly because I've met Matt Smith in person, I've met Jean-Luc Picard, you know, Patrick Stewart, I do know his name, but he can't be anything but Picard for me. Nathan Fillion, Neil Patrick Harris, Jared Jensen, hottie, hottie, hottie. But Hugh Laurie's the only one I was like, if I was single. He wore a leather jacket on set, and he smoked cigarettes, which is not sexy, but it was on him, and he had an Indian motorcycle, and he would sit there and brood with an English accent, and I'm like, take me.